Hi there, and thanks for taking the time to learn about event management and Navigate 360, Kane University Student Success Management System. Event management allows faculty and staff to manage events for students at Kane. Through event management, users are able to identify students they want to invite to the event, manage registration, and even follow up with surveys. If you have questions related to this function, please reach out to Navigate support at kane.edu. To log in to Navigate 360, go to the Kane University Quick Links and select Navigate 360 from the drop-down menu. Upon logging in, you'll be brought to the staff home screen. From the icon menu on the left side of the screen, select the icon for Campaigns. It's a megaphone with a circle around it, indicated here with an orange arrow. After clicking on the campaign icon from your staff home screen, you'll be brought to all of the campaign types that are available to you. Scroll to the bottom of the screen and select Events. After selecting Events, you'll want to select New Event, and you'll be brought to your Create Event page. At the top of the screen, you'll be able to preview your progress bar, which will indicate where you are in the process of setting up your event. To get started, we'll want to define our event with basic configurations, including the name and the care unit for which this event is being managed under. From your basic configuration, you'll want to provide an internal name. This is an internal name and only visible to users. Students will not see the internal name. Then you'll want to select the care unit that is managing the event itself. So in this case, we'll select Advising and Support. On the right side of the screen, we can see basic configurations, including our internal name and care unit, and then we have our maximum number of attendees. Here we have 100 attendees. In this case, if we have 101 students trying to register for this event, one student will be notified that there are no longer spaces available for this event. Additionally, the event manager will receive a communication indicating that the maximum number of attendees has been reached to determine whether or not you want to extend or expand the number of maximum attendees. Finally, you have the option to make the invitation required. In this instance, you may choose to make an invitation required if you have a specific space that can only accommodate a certain number of students and or you want a certain particular major or population of students to be able to attend the event. In this case, you would make that invitation required. If you have more of an open event, but you just want to track the number of students who are interested in attending, you can deselect make an invitation required so that if students show up for the event the day of and they haven't registered, they can still participate. As we scroll down, we're able to include information about the event, including the start and end time, the location, and the event contact email. The event contact email is the account for which students will contact if they have any questions about the event. Finally, at the bottom of the page, you'll manage the event registration window. This is how long registration will be open for. For example, I have the settings here from September 26th to November 14th, which means if a student accesses the link on September 25th, they would not be able to register. But if they access the link on September 26th, registration would be open and they would be able to register. Now, my event is scheduled for November 14th. If I want students to be able to register up until the day of the event, I can have the end date set to November 14th. If I need to have a solid count of how many students anticipate participating in the event, I might decide to have the end date be a few days before the actual event. This has been particularly helpful for folks who are trying to get a head count for when they're ordering food for such events. After reviewing our progress bar at the top, you'll notice that we are at the event registration page. Our event registration page is where you can include your event description. This includes helpful information that informs a participant as to what they can expect from participating in the event. The left side of the screen is the template where you can update the description, and the right side of the screen contains the registration page preview. Please note that you can preview what it would look like to a student who's accessing the event registration from a mobile, tablet, or desktop device. As you scroll to the very bottom of the page, you do have the option to update your registration page URL. Your registration page URL can be custom. If you have a custom URL, you can go ahead and select copy and include that in any external documentation, such as flyers or postcards marketing the event. When you're ready, select Continue. Next, you'll want to select the recipients you want to invite to the event. Unlike other campaigns in Navigate, event management allows users to leverage reporting. Reporting has the same concepts as an advanced search. For example, there are entities and fields. Entities are like cabinets or buckets where we organize data, and fields are the data points that live in those cabinets or buckets. For example, if we have an event that we want to invite all freshmen from the fall 2024 semester who have a cumulative GPA that's greater than or equal to 2.99, we would set up our report to look like this. Field 1 is classification in term fall 2024 and contains any value of freshmen. And the field cumulative GPA has the condition greater than or equal to the value of 2.999. If you wanted to add additional filters, you can do so. But if you're ready, you can scroll to the very bottom and select Run Report. I do want to highlight from this particular screen that you can share these filters using the option on the top right of the filters, and that will create a hyperlink that you can share with colleagues as necessary to reference your criteria. You can also leverage pre-configured reports in your environment by using the Load Saved Report slightly above the Share These Filters radio button. Either way, it's recommended that once you come up with your criteria, you save your report using the Save As button, and this will allow you to access this report in the future. It's recommended that you also take a look at any report documentation that we have on our support site so that you can familiarize yourself with this function. If you have questions related to building a report or identifying students who you want to include in your particular event, don't hesitate to reach out to us again at navigatesupport@kane.edu. We're happy to help you configure your reports. Once we've selected Run Reports, we will then be able to preview all students who align with the criteria for our report. Simply select the checkbox to the left of student name to include all students, and then from the top left, select Add Selected Recipients. While you do have the option to select Continue on the bottom right, the system will automatically add those students to the campaign and move you on to the next step of the process. The next step of the process includes reviewing your recipients in the event. If at any time you needed to remove a student, you can select the student that you want to remove, and a option will appear to remove that student from your list. Please note that once you launch your campaign, you cannot add or remove students. This all has to be done, the management of recipients, during the editing process. An important component to a successful event is intentional communications. Within Navigate 360, you can set up your invitation and reminders to RSVP so that students who are invited to the event will receive reminders until they register. For example, if you invite 100 students to participate in an event and 20 students register based off that first invitation, then the follow-up reminders to RSVP will only go to the 80 remaining students. If another 5 students register as part of the second communication, then only 75 students will receive the email communication that follows. To add your invitation, go ahead and select Add Invitation from this screen. From this window, you're able to set up your communications or invitation for the event itself. From the top left of the screen, you can choose your message type as email or text message. For text message, you'll select SMS. As you scroll down the screen, you'll be able to compose your email, and this is where you can include important information to the student that brings attention to the event and why they should participate. One suggestion is to include an introduction to who you are and why you're inviting that student to the event. This is a nice way to make technology a bit more personal. As you compose your message on the left side, the right side of the screen will provide you a preview. It's important to know that the preview email will always say Andrew as the student's first name, but the name will pre-populate with the student's preferred name when they actually receive it in their Kane email. Whether you're setting up your initial invitation or follow-up communications, you'll be able to add attachments to the communication itself. Additionally, you'll be able to preview the message dates. It's important to note here that the first communication will go out on the day that the campaign launches. For example, our campaign is set to launch on September 26th, and so the first communication would go out to students on September 26th. When you're ready, you can select Save Invitation from the bottom right. To add your reminder, go ahead and select Add Reminder from this screen. It's important to also note that before the campaign launches, you are able to edit your communications by selecting the edit icon indicated here with the orange arrow. If you do need to edit a communication after the campaign has launched, you can do so from the screen by selecting Edit Campaign. You'll be able to edit and update communications up until the day before the communication is scheduled to go out. In addition to setting up your event invitations, you'll also be required to set up your RSVP confirmations. This confirmation is set up to go to students as soon as they register for the event. In testing, this email communication gets into a student's inbox within 5 seconds and includes important information about the event and confirms that they registered for it. Similar to the event invitation, you can leverage the editor on the left side of the screen to compose your communication and preview the communication on the right side of the screen. If you wanted to include a text message as your RSVP confirmation, you can do so by selecting SMS at the top of the screen, indicated here with the orange arrow. This would then allow you to send a text RSVP confirmation to the student instead of an email. As an optional feature, you are able to include reminders for the event. These can be sent to students by way of email or text and are a nice reminder for students leading up to the event. For example, some users have decided to send a text the day of the event and an email the day before the event, just because we know student schedules get busy. If you don't want to include a reminder for the event, you don't have to, but it is always there as an option. Once you've set up all of your preferred communications, scroll to the very bottom of the screen and select Continue. The last step of our event management setup is verifying and publishing our event. This is where you can preview the event summary, including the event details, the name, the location, the start and end time. And as you continue to scroll down the screen, you can also access your registration page URL. This URL can be used across campus and embedded in different flyers and postcards related to the event. You can also turn this URL into a QR code for students to scan and register. Additionally, you can preview your recipients and the communication tied to the event. On the bottom right of the screen, you have two options. You can either save and exit, allowing you to come back to the event before publishing one more time or two more times as needed, or you can publish the event. Once you publish the event, you'll be able to preview the details about the event, including recipients, registrations, and attendance. Additionally, you're able to preview the message metrics, including click and open rates. If you need to, you can edit your event details on the top right of the screen. Please note that you are not able to add additional recipients or remove recipients once the campaign has launched. If you need to, you may also cancel the event, which will notify participants that the event has been canceled. In addition to leveraging the event metrics, you're able to use reporting, indicated here with the orange arrow, to build out lists of information related to the event, including registrations and participation in events themselves. If you have questions about building out reports, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks again for taking the time to learn about event management and Navigate 360, Kane University Student Success Management System. If you have any questions about this or any other functions within Navigate, please feel free to reach out to us at navigatesupport@kane.edu. Thanks for watching.